Welcome to another edition of the Lajes Cockpit, where we give you a bird's eye view of what the men and women of Lajes Field have been up to. My name is Ricky Baptista. I'm the Chief of Public Affairs for the 65th Air Base Group. So buckle up. And get ready for takeoff. In the cockpit today, we have the 65th Air Base Group Installation Chaplain, Captain Alex Liu. Captain Liu, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So, do you mind, before we start, getting into some of the other questions, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and, why you joined the military?
Sure. So I was born and raised in China, and my family received persecution by the communist government. So we decided to leave the country, and actually the United States offered us a shelter, a place for us to restart our life. But I didn't come to the States directly from China. I went to Switzerland because we were in the process of waiting for all the immigration paper to go through. So when I went to Switzerland, I actually became a Christian there through the work of a Bible college, the students in the Bible college. After that, I decided to attend the Bible college and just to learn about this belief that I adopted. And so after that, I graduated from the Bible college, and I believe God directed me to become a pastor in a small Chinese church in Boston. So I moved to Boston and stayed there for about 10 years. And during that time, I learned about the chaplaincy program, and I always wanted to serve because to be thankful for what was given to me. And so I was offered this opportunity to join the Army Chaplain Corps candidate program. So I did that, and same time I had to go attend a seminary, complete my education to be qualified for an Army chaplain position. And so I did that and complete my training, my education, came out of the Army, became an active duty chaplain. So during my Army years, I deployed to Kuwait for a whole year and was stationed at Fort Hood. Then after I returned, I completed all 8 years of initial military obligation to the Army. Then I decided to cross over to the Air Force. So in 2017, and I made that switch and cross over to the Air Force.
From green to blue.
Yes, sir.
From green to blue.
Yeah. And then ever since, I was stationed at Langley Air Force Base, and Lajes is my second duty station in the Air Force. And in between, I deployed to Qatar.
So you have a wonderful life story. I mean, it's amazing to hear from China to Switzerland, from the U.S. to deployments to Qatar. I haven't met a lot of people with such a large breadth of places that you've been to, and so the experiences you bring to the folks you talk to, I mean, it comes from personal experience. It's not coming just from a theoretical book. It's coming from what Alex Liu has the challenges that he has overcome, the obstacles that he has had to face. So those type of things are absolutely fundamental in my understanding of the services of a chaplain. Yeah. And so thank you for sharing that, because that's absolutely wonderful. Now in today's environment, we look at the difficult times that many members are going through, whether they're active duty, whether they're civilian, U.S. Civilians, foreign nationals. There are a lot of challenges in today's world, and a lot of times we need help. We need one of the words that we use is resiliency, a very powerful word and a very powerful tool. Can you talk to us a little bit about how we can help ourselves and how you, Chaplain Liu, can help us?
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you for giving me that opportunity. Actually, that's the part I really enjoy of being a chaplain in the military. As many of you know, that we have chaplaincy ever since the beginning, 1775, the revolutionary time. So chaplain has always served as a spiritual guide and then spiritual pillar in our country's military. And it's an honor for me to serve because I get to meet people, I get to know them, and then I get to learn, about their life and their happy moments, their challenges in life, and maybe I'll get the opportunity to actually help them out and direct them onto a new path. Now, when it comes to resiliency, I want to use one analogy that I learned in my Army basic training. So there's this skill set that every soldier has to learn. It's called the land navigation. I've shared that before with some groups. And this is a very important skill set for a soldier. And often it could become a life and death situation if you don't know how to, navigate through the terrains that you're being sent into. So in a way, to me, it's kind of like a skill set we need, the same concept that we need in life, because we need that to navigate through life. So when I look at the basic concept of a land navigation, there are actually different terrain features. There are major terrains and then minor terrains. So in the major terrain, you have hill, ridge, saddle, valley, and depression. So for me, hills are the representation of all these highlighted excitements in life, right? Your successful stories, the accelerating moments that you have in life, and you're happy, you have all your friends around you and celebrating that success. And sometimes you might go through success after success, and that's as if you're walking on the ridge line, right? And you're just going from one hilltop to another hilltop. Other times you might decide that you might feel like you're standing at the lowest point between two hilltops, and that will be a saddle. But you don't know. You don't know if you get to the next hilltop or not. But you feel like you're coming down from one success, and then you're heading towards another success. But you're experiencing a little bit setback. How do you view yourself when you're standing in the saddle?
Coming off the high where you've experienced success, you've received all this ovation, and now all of a sudden now you're coming down. And how do you deal with that also?
Yes.
Right? How do you,
To know if I'm standing at the saddle or I'm going down the valley. And sometimes we might choose to go down the valley, right? The valley is peaceful, and we may not experience much of success. We might be overlooking other people's success, but we find it peaceful. And that might be a place for shelter and to stay away from the wind, the storm, the bad weather that's coming down. And a lot of people choose to settle down in the valley. So for me, the valley could be a moment to settle down or to seek some peace. But one thing that often, we don't want to get ourselves into is depression. And when we go through depression, and it's not a good feeling, and we feel down, we feel like, well, how far down I have to go walk. But if you understand the concept of depression, especially on a map, it literally means a hole on the ground. Now, it's not cliff. So by knowing the depression, you may not come out at the same elevation where you entered. However, if you keep going, you will eventually come out. And our society has a huge taboo when it comes to dealing with depression. We think it's the end of the world. But with proper guidance and the understanding of resiliency, and we can actually come out at the other end. And now there's 3 minor terrain features that most of us don't enjoy to be in. And the first one is a draw. A draw is actually essentially has no level ground to stand on. You have little or no room to maneuver. And I don't know if we ever experience that in life. We feel like we're cornered, and moments that we don't have a choice. But to understand it, a draw can be the initial formation of a valley. So if you understand that concept and just look at your situation to say, yes, it seems like I don't have much of space, room to maneuver. It seems like I'm cornered. I feel like I don't have much of choices. But the hope is that this might turn into a valley and a place that you can settle down, a place that you can change your perspective.
And be calm. And one of the most important aspects here, from my understanding, is being able to recognize these areas. And you come in, you're able to help folks identify these. Because when you're in a valley or when you're on top of the hill, you actually may not realize that that's where you're at. And it's great to have people that are trained in this area, that understand, that have been to the hilltops and that have been in the valleys and have been on the near the cliffs or in the depressions, and they help you identify it and say, hey, been there. Yeah. Let me help. Let me walk this with you, and let's get to a safe place.
You're exactly right. So like when I do land nav, I would never want it to go alone by myself. Okay, even though we have that type of training, which is called individual land nav, but I never enjoyed it. I always enjoy go with somebody else, and especially somebody who's a veteran and have done the land nav and who is competent and confident. You don't want to be teamed up with somebody who had no clue how to do a land nav, right? And so you two would just get lost with each other. But even if you do get lost, having someone coming alongside of you that still gives you some level of comfort and confidence because someone is there with you. So sometimes when we try to help someone, and we may not have to say much, just our presence, being there with them, and can provide support.
In the Air Force, we call them our wingmen.
Yes. Absolutely. That's the
who
wingman concept.
That's the wingman concept.
Yeah.
The concept across the board. You don't have to be a pilot to have a wingman.
Right. Yeah. So, and another interesting part in the land navigation is that you need 3 things to do the land nav. They're essential. And the first thing is a compass. Now, in today's world, we mentioned earlier, we experience rapid changes. And there's we're having to make life decisions quickly while facing all kinds of challenges, right? And they could be physical, they could be social, mental, and spiritual changes.
Okay.
And there's we have access to information nowadays that people never had before. And those information brought different ideas, different theories, and different beliefs, different perspectives to our lives. Now, how do I know which theory, which idea, which perspective, which belief is the true north for my life? And so I need this compass to point out the direction for me, right? And this compass is your value, your moral standard, and your belief. So based on that, and that is pointing you to the true north.
This is an internal compass. This is not something that I can expect somebody to give me. I mean, these are my values, my beliefs, what has been ingrained in who I am as an individual. And so that's where that compass is, and recognizing that is also one of the most important parts, is knowing what do I value in life, and that will help me in the challenges that I face.
Absolutely, yeah, you're correct. And there's another interesting concept in the land navigation is that there is a grid north, and then the true north concept, right? And then the magnetic north.
Okay.
So there's 3 concepts. If the grid north is what's on the paper, what's on the map, and even though it is pointed to the right direction, but if you don't know how to apply that onto a compass, so you don't know which direction is pointing the true north for you. And so what we learn sometimes, what we heard from these medias or books that you read or information that you received, and is that really pointing the true north for us, for your life's journey? And you might need to sit down with somebody to wrestle that idea. And that's what we do. We're willing to sit down with you and provide this confidential counseling section or just a talk. You know, it doesn't have to, we don't have to give a name for it, but the important part is that we're going to be there for you to wrestle that thoughts with you.
Helping the self-identification of that aspect. Again, this is not a compass that you can go out and get somebody else's. No, this is something that is internal to me, it's mine, and I may need help in clarifying it, and that's where I can look to you, Chaplain Lou, and say, hey, you know, I need help on this, and I know you've been there, help me figure this out, and help me identify this. And that's a big step in itself, and a big challenge for some folks in recognizing that. But the skills that you've had and the experiences you've had, I'm sure that you make it a lot easier for people to come in.
Well, hopefully, thank you. That's my desire. That's what I enjoy doing. And the second thing that you need in doing land nav is a map, right? So that is the world we're living in, the surroundings that you have, and the life you live in, and the circumstances that you've been put in. Now, the question I have for us to think about it is that, do we have an accurate map? Do we have a most updated map? You know, how much we understand what's going on around us. You know, some people never read the news, and they're not updated on what's going on with the world. So maybe those are the moments that we can help each other and help updating each other, you know, keep the communication flow. And the last thing that in the land nav you need is a protractor. So that is something that to help us to actually calculate and plan for our life's journey. And on the protractor, it's very interesting to notice that there are 3 different triangles. It depends on the map that you're using. If you use the wrong triangle and you're calculated totally wrong, and so you're not going to be able to get to where you want to be. And so it's very important for us to know, you know, how to calculate, how to plan our life. A life without a plan, you know, is risky, and because you don't know what's ahead of you.
So you not only have to have the right tools, you need to make sure you know how to use them, and that they're accurate and they have been calibrated to an extent. You need to make sure you have the right map, the right protractor, the right compass, and that is a self-identification process that you can also help them make sure that, hey, this individual, I may have run into a valley, I may have run into a depression, I need some help in getting out of here. You know, where's my compass, where's my protractor, where's my my map. And so once I identify those, then I have a plan to the destination I know I need to get to.
Right, absolutely, you're totally right. So like you mentioned, like if I got stuck in the situation, like in the depression or a draw, or even spur that I didn't mention earlier, which is the opposite of a draw. And so what calculation that you're gonna have, what plan you're gonna have to get yourself out of that situation and to reach that higher ground. And so those are the things that the Chaplain Corps, actually, we come in and we sit down with the people and we listen to their stories and we help analyze their situation. And hopefully by asking some questions and go through some conversations, we can help them to find a way, find the right direction.
Well, Chaplain Lou, that was an absolutely wonderful explanation of how you help folks in those land navs. I'm going to have to try and make sure I identify mine next time I'm on the top of a hill or in a valley or near a depression, because I think we all, in all our lives, we go through these areas, different peaks and points in time. So it's definitely something that will help me now in the future. Now, to ask you a question a little bit specific to Lajes Field and to the men and women here, what type of activities, other than obviously this land nav aids, does the chaplain offer, and you know, what can our airmen kind of expect from your services, and you know, kind of where are you located? You know, let our spectators know, let our viewers know, you know, how they can find you and what's offered to them.
Yeah, sure, be happy to. So we're located in the building T305 and directly across T112, and you can pretty much find us right behind the gym. So everybody knows the gym, right?
Yeah, physical fitness, spiritual fitness, right? So that's kind of that.
Put us all together. The chapel actually is a one-stop shop.
Okay.
Not only me being a chaplain is stationed there, but we also have the MFLAC, Military Life Family Consultant, and we also have the SAP program located, their office is located there.
Sexual assault and prevention response coordinator.
Yeah. And so if you have any of these needs, you can just come to the chapel, and because everybody there has a confidentiality requirement. And so whatever you say, and in general, we keep it confidential. Now, everybody has a different level of confidentiality. The chaplain corps has 100% confidentiality. So whatever you tell us is not going to go anywhere unless you give us the consent. The chapel programs here at Lajes, and I wanted to say there's two major categories. There's the religious programs, there's the resiliency programs. So out of the religious programs that we offer religious services and general Christian services, and then we also have a off-base Catholic service that was offered by a volunteer priest, local priest. We have our Sunday fellowship activities, and sometimes we go hiking, and sometimes we do some adventures.
which makes sense with what you talked about in your land navigation tools, going hiking. This kind of this, see how it mixes in here. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And other times we just sit down and eat a meal together, share a meal together, and we do a barbecue, and we sit around and talk and get to know each other. We want to form a community. The concept that I want to bring to this chapel is Life Connects. And this is the place that people can come in and then connect themselves with each other, but also with their divine power and with the God that they believe. So they can come in and practice their beliefs. And so by offering a Thursday night recharge, which is a contemporary version of a Bible study that we have, and then / fellowship that's open to anybody. You don't really have to be a Christian if you wanted to just come and check us out, and you are all welcome. We start at 6 o'clock, 6 p.m., and we offer dinner, so come by and eat with us and break bread. Then afterwards, we actually watch a little video together. Then we have discussion questions afterwards.
Have discussion, be able to talk to folks and communicate and understand the challenges that some folks may be having. And hey, you may know that this other individual who I've never worked with has the exact same challenges, and hey, maybe together we can work through them. Or hey, I was there, I can this is what I did. And so that's a great opportunity for our folks. They're here unaccompanied, and so a great opportunity to get to know people, kind of a socialized social event in that. And so that sounds like a wonderful event every Thursday at 6 p.m.
Yes, sir. Yeah. And we also have a prayer meeting every Wednesday at 4:30. So I have designated that time to just pray for our base, pray for everything that's coming to my head that I carry as a burden. So it's open to anybody who wants to join me, or you can just join me at where you at, during those hours, and we will pray for whatever is on your head. We also have this QR code that people can scan. They can submit their prayer requests, then I'll pray for them.
The chaplain is digitally inclined here. We're QR codes, and there's no reason for you not to be connected.
Yes, sir. Yeah, you get opportunity. And we have, every once in a while, we have those special holiday services or programs, celebrations. Often we will follow it with a meal together. Food is important,
We break bread. Yes.
We break bread together. And every Thanksgiving, we actually partner with for support and to provide the base populace a meal that people can actually celebrate, even though that they're away from their families.
And we're going into autumn now, and one of our big events will obviously be Halloween and Thanksgiving and the Christmas time frames, and a lot of those are are family-oriented events, and with some folks that are unaccompanied here, as we mentioned before, this is a great opportunity to get together with the Lajes family.
Mm-hmm. And if you remember that we also helped organize the Spring Fest, and that was around Easter time, and basically turned into a big family event. Brought in a lot of family. They have fun. Kids really had fun with the Easter egg hunt.
Yes. The chaplain helped organize that and bring the community together.
Yes,
so we that's a little bit in the past. Can you talk to us a little bit?
The present.
The present and the future. What can we expect from the chaplain?
So I mentioned earlier that we have another column, which is Resiliency Programs. Mm-hmm. And those are open to people. It doesn't have any religious nature, not necessarily, and it will be just addressing spiritual resiliency. So we have done a bunch of outdoor activities like co-steering, canyoning, kayaking, paddleboarding, paintballing, you name it. Anything we can find on this island to offer to people. And we've also taken people off the island and to go to other Azorean islands to do retreats. We've gone to Pico, Fayal, Corvo, and San Miguel, and St. George, and Flourish. So all these retreats, each of them has a unique theme and topic to address the spiritual resiliency needs of the airmen. So they can not only having fun on the retreat, but also learn something about how to build their spiritual resilience.
And that's wonderful. I mean, although we live on an island, the opportunity to go to another island and experience a different reality with different responsibilities. I mean, when we live here on the island and our U.S. airmen are coming to work every day and having the opportunity to go see a different culture on a different island and intermingle with folks in a different manner as opposed to just work-related topics. Now I can talk about, my family or the challenges I'm going through. I think it's a great opportunity for people to do. And there are only 9 islands. You can't go to much more than that.
Sure, yeah.
Sounds like you've already covered almost all 9.
Pretty much almost everywhere. And the most important thing, those are free.
Yeah, wonderful.
And if you're selected and to come with us, and it's a free trip, and it's fun.
Yeah.
Enjoyable. On top of that, we also offer a lot of volunteer projects. Mm-hmm. We try to reach out to the community, the local community. It's not just about the base populace, and we want to have good relationship with the local Portuguese as well. So we have done in the past, such as angel trees. We would collect a bunch of gifts and then take it to the local orphanages, and then just help the kids to celebrate, Christmas, and make them feel like someone loves them, someone cares about them. And we have organized different volunteer activities to go help cleaning areas that the locals want us to basically help out. And so all these opportunities, and I'm also continue to look for these opportunities in the local areas. Even though I don't speak Portuguese, but I'm trying my best.
Well, we can help you with that. We'll help you with that. And,
Thank you.
I think maybe you can offer a free class and speak Portuguese. And
yes.
You go to all these different islands. It may be one of the classes. But those type of volunteer opportunities are fantastic, and the local community welcomes them arms wide open. With over 70 years of U.S. military presence here on the Azores, people are accustomed and people welcome and people enjoy the U.S. military presence and love the impact that you provide, and those type of events are fundamental, and people remember them. These orphanages that receive these gifts and the attention that our service members brings is incalculable. I mean,
yes,
you can't put a money sign on it. You can't put a value on it. On seeing the smiles on the kids' faces.
Yes, sir. Yeah, and we're also grateful for Portugal as a good host nation to host us for being here, and for such a long period of time. and for the relationship we have between the United States and Portugal, and we meant to continue to strengthen that relationship. Other than that, we also offer different workshops at the chapel. We have done the Financial Peace University to help people dealing with their financial needs. We have offered a conflict management course workshop to help people understand how to manage conflicts. It's impossible not to have conflicts, right? However, we need to learn how to manage them well so that we can continue to build that strong and good working relationships. And I also am putting together this workshop called Operation 3 Minute. And so that basically takes 3 minutes for us to learn about ourselves and then the people we're working with.
Okay.
And so once we learn about ourselves and we can identify what are the symptoms that showing us that we're being stressed, we're under stressed, and what are the indications that we need to notice for us to say, okay, now I need to take myself out of this situation, and how do I know that I'm being myself and I'm totally relaxed?
Self-identification.
Yes, sir. And then at the end, I want to mention this one thing is that this project I'm working on is called Airman Resiliency Center. Now, the chapel is a 4,000 square foot building. We only have 3-4 people in there. We don't need the whole entire building. So I'm turning a majority of the building into an Airman Resiliency Center.
An ARC.
Yes, an ARC. Yes.
I got
in that ARC, yeah, you got me. So that's a good one.
The ARC. Okay, got it. Yeah, the ARC.
So in the ARC, we have already established the Chapel Cafe. So if you have come by and experienced it, it's in the chapel, the front foyer of the building. You can get free coffee, and we got free Wi-Fi over there as well. It offers a nice and quiet location for people to have lunch, have snacks, coffee, just sit around, talk. And I have squadrons, flights that brought their whole people come by.
Well, that's wonderful. You say free coffee. I'm sure it'll be full once after this gets published and posted. I'm sure you'll have a lot of people going there for free coffee.
Come by. Yeah. So we're also working on this dining hall to basically renovate it and to have it ready. We will put a karaoke system in there, big screen TVs, and a full function kitchen so that we can offer maybe in the future like airman's lunch, prayer breakfast or prayer lunch over there. And we can also bring in different entities like booster clubs and to serve meals to basically raise funds.
A place to host these events that our private orgs can use also, and our official orgs that can use your facility to be able to get the community together, because that's what this is about, is making sure that we're a good, healthy, connected community.
Yes, and then downstairs we have a basement, and we're going to designate one classroom for the Chapel Airman's Attic. And because we have this attic, and then people would donate items and to benefit someone who just got here and don't have the necessities, and they can get their feet on and to help them out. Or sometimes, even with the locals. And this is open to just about anybody who's on base. We also have another classroom. We're setting that up as a multi-function training room. So if the unit wants to come and utilize that space, and they're more than welcome. Now, this ARC, I'm looking to run it with the Rising 6, because it is for the airmen. It is not for us. It is for the airmen to utilize, to benefit the airmen. So that's why I'm seeking the partnership with Rising 6 and to run and to recruit volunteers. And this will provide regular volunteer hours for our folks on base, and also double of the capacity of the Chapel Fellowship Dining Hall. So even with the COVID restriction, we're able to host over 100 people at the same time.
Oh, so food. It's all about breaking bread, getting people together, increasing the community, and increasing the bonds in the community for our resiliency here at Lajes Field. Chaplain, you have some wonderful projects. You've done wonderful work here at Lajes Field over the past year. You've been here for a year, and we are honored and happy to see you here for another year.
Thank you.
Because of the events that you've talked about, and I think that these projects are just going to bring Lajes Field a lot closer.
Thank you. Thank
you. Thank you for joining us in the cockpit today, because you obviously are a busy man, so taking time to come out and talk to us about this, it's wonderful, and maybe we'll get you out again in a few months and you can talk about how all of these projects have come to fruition.
Sure, yeah, be happy to. And thank you for having me. It's an honor.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, that's our flight for today. Thank you for joining us, and get ready for our next flight. Take care.